disappointment, and their head coach has resigned today. Now here's Liam Miller for Canada. He was so positive off the bench against Switzerland and gets the start today. Now, what about the fast start that both of these sides ideally wanted? Here's Miller again.
Yeah, excellent start by Canada. Good possession. You touched on the fact being positive, whether it's Miller on that left-hand side, predominantly wants to come inside, play a little combination play, but it's been a really good start for Canada. They want to play on the front foot. They want to make it a quick game. Where you look at South Africa, they want to calm it down, they want to get on the ball, maybe pass through that press, and once they get into that area, they've got two players up front. One-on-one situations can be deadly in that position.
Tani Oluwase of Villarreal getting the nod today ahead of Carl Larin. The theory there being this bit more aggressive.
Yep, pressing, that was the thing. Larin wasn't too energetic pressing. Games in a short space of time. That's the feeling we're hearing from the camp, from a good source. That's why the changes have been made, but this is where you have to be careful when you turn the ball over.
And Bombito, who's a little bit undercooked to say the least. He's barely played since last October, giving the ball away to South Africa. It is asking a lot, isn't it? Asking a player who's recovering from a broken leg in a challenge in French football with Folarin Balogun. Very innocuous, very unfortunate. It was he who'd made the challenge, but out since October and only made a couple of appearances since, and that being this month. Now here's Liam Miller for Canada. The winner of this match, by the way, will meet the winner of the Netherlands-Morocco match in the round of 16. That's on Saturday, July 4th in Houston. Nothing much happens on July 4th around here, does it?
It should be quite a quiet occasion, that one. But just the game at the moment is just taking a little breather. Canada, as I said, started the game very well. Get him into the game, Buchanan. I think he's an excellent player. Him and Johnson have a good understanding. Johnson's played every minute of every game so far. And Kylie Lloyd touching it. Buchanan's got to have a good game. He's such an important player. And that's going to be an intriguing battle on this right-hand side for Canada and left as well, too. You've got a fullback who wants to go forward. Buchanan sometimes gets caught a little bit ball watching.
Sotolo was sent off in that awful opening group match against host Mexico. Not many people after that match really expected South Africa to be in the knockout rounds. I think that's fair to say. They had two players sent off, but not just that. Some of the passing out from the back was horrendous, but my goodness if they improved. And now here they come near the Polis.
Good little touch from Johnson, just making sure that the ball didn't just drift over his head. He's got a good starting position as there. If you're not sure as a defender, just put it out. You can always reset, refocus. You see now with South Africa, Becky, just having a little bit more calmness on the ball. They are a team that wants possession. You're correct about Mexico. When they played, they was giving the ball away cheaply. They're over-embellished sometimes.
We could just hear from the crowd noise there that there are a lot of Canadian supporters here. I spoke to maybe half of them before.
No, you've spoken to all of them.
Sotolo coming forwards for South Africa, just checking what they did about tickets. Some had anticipated that this would be the case, and others got lucky. Now, can South Africa get lucky? Could be in here with Machopa. Mofokeng. And a strike from long range. Well, Crepo wasn't feeling too confident about that one from Mokoena. The battle at the other end with Jonathan David. He had a quiet game with that one against Switzerland. We weren't quite expecting that after his hat-trick against Qatar.
But I think that was down to Switzerland dominating possession. They had 65% of the ball. He was staffed with service. Again, that pressure closing down. High end. Capo there in goal. A little bit suspect with the shots and crosses. That doesn't fill you with confidence. But it's such a big occasion for these players. Even the nations, they've never been here before.
Now Miller for Canada. Oh, what about a strike from distance? It was optimistic, but why not? From Stefan Eustachio, a player who told his coach he didn't feel like he was capable of starting the last game due to, I think it was a hamstring problem. And this is Crepeau taking no chances, but not looking confident.
Peter Schmeichel was in the studio. I know it bounced in front of him, but it wasn't a rifled shot. I know that can be difficult for a goalkeeper, that little skip in front. They've been watering the surface as well. So I understand the caution to take it away, but it wasn't one of them shots that you feel like you had to palm it.
It wasn't entirely clear who would be the number one. They have Dane St. Clair of Inter Miami, 29-year-old on the bench, but it was Crepeau who got the nod today. This tournament, 32 years of age, of Orlando City. But they also have Owen Goodman, who's a really exciting young talent. Former Canada and England under-20 internationals.
Just defend.
Oh, they could be in here.
Just get it away. Don't overbalance there.
Of it.
That's a sign. As I said, they do take a chance. They want to try and play out, but there's a time and a place. I'm telling you, as a defender, early moments, long ball played in behind. As soon as you let the ball bounce, and the pace that Buchanan's got is going to put you under pressure. There's nothing wrong of getting the ball out. You can regroup, refocus. But they do like to take a chance, and that's something that Canada players will thrive on. It won't necessarily be the first press. It might be the second or third where it's a bad touch, maybe a little bit overconfidence on the ball. So they're the little signs that Canada will be looking for. It's not always press, because you can't do that all the time. You have to pick the right moment and maybe look at the right person who's going to give you a chance.
Here he is again, Mbakazi, really interesting character. Youngster, only 20 at Chicago Fire, but his head coach, Hugo Bross, not happy that he signed for Chicago Fire, saying he wants to see him in Europe, but he said it again, I want him in Europe. And he has been linked with Nottingham Forest. Here he is again. Not the tallest of central defenders at 5'9", but it hasn't done Lisandro Martinez any harm, has it, at Argentina and Manchester United. Now Canada coming forwards again with Owashe, now Miller.
Keep it moving.
Has support on the left with Larea. Corner for Canada.
Great soccer. Incisive, direct, effective. Larea's made a living out of that. Pushing forward, likes to go forward, and just with that, just trying to find that little corridor between the goalkeeper and the defender where he can play it in. But excellent defending as well. We talk about this tournament with the stars scoring goals. Messi gets another one last night, but also the defending's been at a good level as well.
Seko, one of the most attack-minded South African players back there with a vital interception. And now Eustachio for Canada.
Well, that's a huge disappointment because they'd lined up 5 players for a set piece, and one of them would be told to go round the back. You go near post, you go middle of the goal, one would maybe hang out, and one should go round the back post. And that's an area that Jesse Marsh would have seen to try and exploit with set pieces. They've got height and they know they've got excellent delivery.
Gianni Infantino has been enjoying his magical mystery tour of the 3 countries. Here we are in Los Angeles today in this extraordinary arena. We are high up in the gods. It is huge. Screens all around us. There's Apollos playing it forwards. He's continued his run. Now Madiba. Mofokeng has it taken away from him by Buchanan. Now Jonathan David. Oh, it's a loose one from David. Now it's allowing Mokoena.
Because South Africa, Jackie, don't have a lot of the ball, when they have it, they have to calm down because they work so hard and their mind and their body's working 100 miles an hour. You just need to breathe a second, and that's a long time in any sport. There's Miller again just trying to push forward. Again, well-timed tackle, got the ball. Referees, you can see straight away, Jack, he's letting them play. He's letting the game unfold, he's letting the players play. Oh.
João Pinheiro's the man in the middle today from Portugal. Now Apollos.
I mean, that's the difference, South Africa. They want it calm. You know, they just want the ball there, where you've seen South Africa, when they have it, they're very calm on the ball. Canada, when they have it, their first thought is to go forward. They want to try and penetrate. They want to try and see if the team's out of shape.
Just the one shot on target so far, that coming from South Africa. Relatively tame one from Mokoena. And he scored the penalty in the second match against Czechia, the equaliser, which set them up for the last game, which he missed then through suspension. But back today, So they only scored that penalty in the second game, and then Maseko with the essential goal, the match winner in the third game in Monterrey against a very disappointing South Korea side. And as I mentioned, their head coach has gone today, which has come as probably no surprise to anybody, unfortunately for him. Benching Son in the last game was a big call, wasn't it, from the start? He brought him off the bench, but they were so poor. Now here comes Johnston. And he looked up and saw he had one option at the top, and it's not a bad one in Oluwaseyi, but
his second touch, he needed it neater. It just got away from him. Yeah, Jackie, you're right. As much as Korea wasn't good on the ball, but give credit to the coach. 74 years of age, and he's a player that's obviously played at the highest level with Belgium. He's been with this federation a long time. He's got his own identity, his own style that he wants to play. And he made them believe that, you know, check it, they conceded a goal, got a penalty late on. So they've got character, and they defended really well, but also they broke with a real passion to go forward. You know, when you do get into that final third, they want to enjoy themselves. They want to make sure that they have that one-on-one individual battles. And there's that, taking the time, passing the ball. But you can see that the shirts are kind of squeezing up, trying to limit the space.
This is how Bros wants them to play, and they were ridiculed for the errors in the opening match against Mexico City, written off. But here they are in the first match of the knockout rounds. Oh, they could be in here. Mofokeng. Looked to be an opening for Mahopa initially.
Oh, well played.
Now here's Modiba.
They're starting to have fun. They're starting to enjoy the occasion. You can only imagine it takes you 10, 15 minutes just to try and take in this atmosphere, this opportunity, because you win, you're in, you lose, you're going home. And they don't want to go home.
You win, you're in, you lose, you're out.
Exactly.
And then you're out.
Oh, here we
now,
go.
Miller, what an opportunity for Canada. It's open up for him.
But I know he wants to come back. I know, so they know. He wants to always come back inside. That is wonderful defending to get back. But Miller there, you've got to just take a chance. It's wonderful third man running. He's in behind now. Has he got the pace to get away? But that little touch coming inside closes the angle, and it's easier for a defender to go out. You would hope with a set piece it would be better than what they had. But excellent, the transition was there, and there's your goalkeeper making sure that they're focused, they're in tune. I remember a certain Peter Schmeichel making sure his back four was organised. He wasn't for the faint-hearted, telling everybody where to be.
Well, Liam Miller was intense off the bench. The decision having been overturned, so it's a goal kick.
And that's fine, you know, players want to come inside, but he's just got to vary it up a little bit. Maybe a touch, then come back, and it was so obvious because maybe the weight of the touch of his first ball didn't get him into the space, so he had to come back. I mean, look at the three now, Canada, just waiting for that chance, and then making the opposition do something they really don't want to do, which is hit the ball on. They're actually enticing them to say, go on, play it, and we'll close you down.
Well, Buchanan's made the run to the right. It was the ball through for Oluwaseyi. Buchanan continuing his run in the centre. Oh, it's opened up momentarily for Jonathan David.
Took too long. Again, maybe that's that. He got the hat-trick against Qatar, but he's not been in the form against Switzerland. Here, you're thinking maybe just touch, hit it, but he hasn't got that second. Once he opens his body up, you know that a defender's going to come across and sniff it out. If he touches it to his right, then he can come on to it earlier. But because he opens his body up, that gives a half a second for a defender to come across.
And that's all it takes. Oh, quick as a flash, the likes of Mbekele and Mbakazi. An impressive-looking number 14 central defender for South Africa is relishing this tournament and making something of a name for himself as well. Now Eustachio.
Well, just looking at our way South Africa, they've gone man for man. They haven't got people in space. They've got someone at the near post, but they're going man for man, and that leaves someone can get blocked off, someone can go around the back.
Eustachio's delivery. Oh, and it did open up again. Well, there was carnage behind Jonathan David, but he just couldn't guide it on frame.
Well, that's what you're hoping for. Someone to get blocked off. He comes through. There's bodies everywhere. I give him the benefit. It's slightly behind him. I get that. But a player of his quality, playing for Juve, I think he should get it on the target at least. But he's getting closer. He's making sure that he's involved in the game. A lot of responsibility on his shoulders.
So this is the first knockout match, the only show in town today, but tomorrow on Fox, the round of 32 matches continue with Brazil against Japan and Germany against Paraguay. Coverage there starting at noon Eastern, 9 AM Pacific, here on Fox. Ian Darke and Landon Donovan will be on that Brazil-Japan game. It'll be Ian Crocker and Danny Higginbotham on Germany against Paraguay. That one's in Boston. Just warming up rather here in LA. You can feel the temperature, jackets off now.
At least Boston's got some beer now, because the Scottish fans have gone home because they drunk that city dry, and now you've got to occupy. I think he'd be happy, Jesse Marsh. I think he'd be looking at his team thinking they're playing a little bit into our hands how they want to play South Africa. I think he'd be pleasantly surprised.
He's not been conventional, Jesse Marsh. He took his kids, all three of them, out of school, he and his wife Kim, and said, right, let's go travelling around the world with our backpacks. And they did, to give them life experience, wanting to do something completely different. Spells in England at Leeds United.
Listen, I've known him 18 years, and I've always had the time for him. He's very been confident about what he wants to do, how he wants to do it. And there's no grey areas how he wants to coach.
Saliba forward towards Lariat, who's out of position now.
Again, that calmness. They're not panicking, which are really, really impressed. Again, wonderful pass.
Sitole swinging it out towards Hollis. Here he is.
But they're working their way up the field. You know, if that diagonal ball's not on, they retain the ball. They try and get the midfield players in that area. They just need to maybe have a midfield runner to take the back four of Canada away, because they're quite a high line. We know that when they press, so there is space in behind.
Interesting contrast of quotes from Hugo Broos, the Belgian in charge of South Africa. He's saying it's already a win just being here at this stage, and then he says, we are going to win tomorrow, saying that yesterday. We are going to win.
We wouldn't expect him to say we're going to lose.
No, but you don't often say we. No, he literally said we will win this game and then we'll be in the next round. Why not? And his wife's given permission for him to be away for another week, he said.
So is mine, actually. Can you make it 2 weeks?
I'm slightly offended because my husband says just stay away, it's too hot in England, we've got no aircon, you may as well stay in hotels over there. I'm like, oh cheers.
Oh, I can understand.
That's a foul on Saliba.
I thought he was excellent, Saliba, in the game against Switzerland. He was in that area by himself. He's having a close shadow down. Janachaka was excellent on the ball, but he did try and close him down. Saliba, and he's got good energy. He wants to go forward.
Well, Saliba brought into the side after that devastating double leg break, a horrendous injury to Kone, as they're telling the goalkeeper to stay back. Instruction from Cornelius to Crepeau, and yes, they won that game 6-0 with a couple of red cards for Qatar in Vancouver. But he's been so positive, Kone, acting as a coach in the team, coming straight back in after his operation that night. 3 doctors watching, saw the incident, got the keys, went into the hospital, operated on him, and he waved to the supporters on his way off because he didn't want to put the players off. He didn't want them to be too upset by what was happening. He wanted them to continue into this tournament, and here they are in the knockout round for the very first time, as are South Africa.
Well, no surprise with the possession again with South Africa, but is it with a purpose? There's a foul.
Jessica Alba there, as you would expect here in the entertainment capital of the United States. There are plenty of celebrities. I'm sure you see plenty of those.
Yeah, as I said, this is going to be a physical game. It's been clean but physical. The referee has made it perfectly clear just to let the game go, but this is that little area where it's a nice distance, because as a back unit of South Africa, you don't want to get too deep where the penalty spot is, because any touch could go in. But by doing that, being up on the 18-yard, you're leaving space in behind. So it's that decision. Do you drop off just as he kicks it, or do we try and be brave enough to hold that line? And all you need, one of them, a Canadian player, to time that run.
Miller leaves it for Eustachio, as you'd expect. The queuing up of Cornelius could not connect.
Wow, what a chance. And that's the risk you take, because you leave the space. And maybe with the ball, and I'll give him a little bit just being floated in it. If it was maybe driven, he can get more contact, but he still should do better. Williams in goal, who's already had one clean sheet.
Now, it's opening up for South Africa here. 2 men on him. There's plenty of support from distance from Mokoena.
Oh, what a block.
There's there to be a moment here for South Africa just before the hydration break.
You know, there is phases in the game where Canada started off really well, want to press. Now they've understood that South Africa's back line are pretty comfortable with the ball, so you just retreat a little bit and let them have it, and then you try and kick on again. So it's just having that phase at the moment where South Africa can have the ball, but this is where you take a chance. He's the one that will give you a chance, because he wants to come out with the ball. So if I'm Canada, I'm saying, please come out to this left-hand side, Jesse. Might make it side, you're coming in, then we can press.
Well, it's time for the hydration break. No goals as yet in beautiful Los Angeles. The fans are loving what they're seeing so far, but there's
Job done. DR Congo the code now, so that would be very, very interesting.
it's drawing a bit of criticism England, aren't they, for not,
that's
for not lighting up the tournament. It doesn't mean they won't still. Plenty of time.
See, if you are going to hit a long ball, sorry, Jake, you can't go down the middle, because that's about the 5th time Bepo's come out, collected it. It gets a little bit disheartening. If you're going to play a longer ball, play it down the side, and maybe your wide players can close down.
Now David finding Miller. Did have an opportunity earlier, but he tried to cut inside onto his favoured right foot, Eustachio. Talk about how it's not how you start a tournament, it's how you finish it. But South Africa really have improved significantly with every game after they're written off after the debacle against Mexico, those 2 red cards for their players, and then got a point against Czechia, much improved, and then beating South Korea, much improved again, and now they're rather full of confidence. They have to defend stoutly again, as they have been, Satole.
But the occasion, you know, against Mexico, opening ceremony, getting ready, that can take a lot. These players haven't been in that environment. But what the coach has shown with his experience of being around this group, he's got them switched on, he's got them focused. He's used 19 players in the 3 games, so everybody's maybe had a feel of the game, everybody's had a momentum.
All this back 4 of South Africa, by the way, have started every game, and 3 of them have played every minute, so they are used to playing together, even though they did play a back 5 initially. They've changed that.
And then obviously the keeper's been there, so that gives you a great foundation.
And here's Mofokeng.
You know, that's what I'm saying, composure. That runs, you can tell he's like, just keep it, go maybe to your right, come again, start again, and then work your way up the field. They get into an area where they're trying to force the situation. That's a good run.
Ocon away. Now Mokoenu's had their only shot on target, parried by Crepo. Playing like a side so much more confident. They've each had a win, a draw and a defeat in the tournament so far. Canada opening up with that 1-1 draw against Bosnia and Herzegovina, who United States will be playing next. Out in Toronto, Carl Larin. And that 6-0 victory over Qatar. Hat-trick for Jonathan David, Larin again, and also Saliba with a wonderful free kick. But Larin finds himself on the bench here. Oluwaseyi preferred.
Yeah, big game coming up for the US on Wednesday. It was great last time out. Okay, lost the game to Turkey, which was one of the teams that a lot of people fancied in this competition, particularly with their front line. But great to see Christian Pulisic in. I think Weston McKennie's been phenomenal. Tyler Adams, the player. So also Pochettino is doing the right thing at the moment.
And that game is just up the road in the Bay Area.
That's a lovely stadium as well. We've been there. Is there any stadium we haven't been to yet?
Yep, Monterrey, okay. Which is where the Netherlands and Morocco will be playing tomorrow for the right to face the winner of this game. That looks phenomenal. The scenes we've seen on TV, my goodness, now Mokoena.
Yeah, they call it the Steel Giant. It's a wonderful stadium.
Looks incredible with the mountains in the background. Now, Modiba for South Africa.
Modiba, this left-hand side, he's their player.
Mokoena swinging it in, and Prepo.
Good goalkeeping. Can't hear it because we're up high, but you could just tell by the players just leaving the ball. As a goalkeeper, communication is vital. You can just come out the way, let him claim it.
It's quite unusual to have 2 goalkeepers in the same World Cup match who are only, in inverted commas, 6 foot tall. Not that tall by modern goalkeeping standards. I wonder what Peter Schmeichel makes of that, whether he cares a jot or not, whether it makes any difference at all.
Well, Sinclair, the second goalkeeper for Canada, is 6'5", so that's the difference, and they've been going toe-to-toe for the last probably 18 months. As Miller just trying to get on the ball. He's not having a lot of joy in that area. Maybe he's just staying too wide. I'd like him maybe to come in a little bit, and then the fullback has to think, do I come in and leave some space, or do I just stay where you are? And if they do, they can maybe feed it into his feet. At the moment, Miller's playing into the defender's hands.
Here's Bombito making his first start of this tournament. He'll be forgiven for being rather shaky. Having barely played since that broken leg in October.
I think he's had two games for this. I think he's only had 2 appearances since then, obviously with the national team. He's not really been tested, so he'll be quite happy. It's just here where he's got to pick the right pass to go into. There's not a lot of movement at the moment with Canada's front line. It could be that someone just makes a run to create space for someone else. They're a little bit static.
Yeah, Bombito only playing 30 minutes in a friendly against Uzbekistan at the start of June, and then the last half against Qatar, and that 6-0 win. That's all he's played since last October. No doubt South Africa will be fully aware of that when they saw his name on the team sheet. Of course you want to test the confidence of a player in a key position out for so long.
But when he's set, I would say he's one of the better players. I mean, but it's just that, I mean, this is a game that if you don't win it, you're going home. So that's a big call to put him in there, but he's a good player.
And he's just gone down there. Cornelius, his central defensive partner after Luc de Fougerolles, the 20-year-old from Fulham. And he's dropped to the bench in place of Bombito. Here he is. Now Buchanan. Johnston, quick as a flash. And Hollis did not give him an inch.
He's another good player. Apollos is, again, gifted with that left foot, likes to go forward.
He's just played the best season of his career at Orlando Pirates, the Giants in South Africa. And there he was, sliding in. His dad's a gangster in Cape Town, and he's spoken publicly about how he was saved from going down that route by his mum and his grandmother. And here he is at the World Cup, shining on the big stage with an opportunity to reach the last 16 for the first time ever. Saliba, who was loose from Saliba, allowing Satoli to pick it up.
Yeah, that's sloppy. You've got to, once you do get the ball, you've got to cherish it, you've got to keep it. That 5-yard pass. Because tactically, Canada are winning the battle because they've said to South you can have it, but they're trying to play the ball long and through the midfield, and that's not going to work.
Now Saliba has Buchanan to his right. Now here's Miller on for Oluwaseyi.
Just chose the wrong option. I'm thinking just go to your right-hand side, give it to Buchanan. He can whip it in the area. They don't. They go out the other side. Again, trying to play the ball through. Saliba waits, anticipates it. And that's what he's doing. He's just saying, please roll it in there, and I'm going to get him behind.
This is direct from the goalkeeper. This is excellent from South Africa. And Seko couldn't keep his feet initially. Now he's got Cornelius all over him. And plenty of company besides, but he's won a corner. Really nicely done. Initiating the move was Ronwyn Williams, the goalkeeper.
Well, we've seen a few players as well just slip with the surface, which even when they had their hydration break, they was watching the pitch. This is the area there. I think it just comes off his toe into Williams' hand. He's trying to wrap his foot around it and cross the ball, but just got his toe on the end of it. Easy catching in for Williams, and his distribution is excellent. There was a stat a little while ago, he had more touches than some of the Canadian players, the goalkeeper.
Hollis with a delivery for South Africa. And the Hopper didn't wrap his leg around it. That's the first corner of the game for South Africa. Now coming up, the Bank of America halftime show here on Fox. Rob Stone's in the chair with Carly Lloyd, Clint Dempsey and Peter Schmeichel as well. Buchanan looking for options. He thought about playing it first time into the feet of Oluwaseyi. Here he is. And Satoli doing a fine job in midfield. Must have been tough for him, that ridicule that he suffered in the opening game against Mexico. Not that it was his fault, it was a poor ball out from the back, and that's not the best from Mokoena.
I love, they are still taking a chance, but they keep doing it. They're going to keep trying. They feel that this is an outlet.
Here they go. Apollos on his own initially, taking on Bombito. He gets back at him.
And look at his stance as well. He knows one-on-one defending, just make sure you show him the line. He's strong enough, keeps the eye on the ball, make sure the concentration's good. There's a good crunching tackle in the end. Yep, it's a goal kick.
Oh, they thought it was going to be a corner, but it's been overturned. So VAR can overturn them one way only if it shouldn't have been given as a corner, but not the other way around.
He's been quite quiet today, you know. I think that tells me that he's quite okay with his team. Normally he can get a bit animated, a bit frustrated, Jesse Marsh. But I think he likes what he sees, and there's obviously a little bit more areas that they can do better, like here. Can we keep the ball better? Can we maybe look to go in behind at the right time? Don't try and force it. They've only had 41 possession, but they're not worried about that. They're not a team that wants the ball. It's what they do with it.
Came in for a little bit of stick, it's fair to say, Jesse Marsh, when his side conceded straight after the break in an awful restart against Switzerland in the last group stage match in Vancouver. And he sat down on the grass with his legs out inside his technical area, as if to say, well, you weren't supposed to do that. Maybe not the body language that people were expecting from a coach trying to lift his side. He does wear his heart on his sleeve. You kind of know what he's thinking. Miller. And Saliba. Oluwaseyi, Buchanan again.
Just take responsibility and get the ball. They're too quick to do little one-touches. You don't need to do that. You've got more time than you think in the game, particularly in that area, the final third.
Now Madiba, nicknamed the postman because he always delivers, but he didn't that time.
There we go.
Late from Sotole. We haven't had a card yet, and the referee, Joel Pinheiro, saying just chill.
Great feet on the end, the composure. But what I would say if I was a forward, I'd keep on working, because there will be a chance they turn into you. You know when you're playing against them. Jack, another sign with the referee. He's going to let that go. No real talking to it.
Dwayne De Rosario there, Canada legend.
Great guy as well. I've seen him a few times. His son's now playing in MLS. Good guy, good person. He could play as well. And he had that famous celebration. Couldn't do it now, but he's a good guy.
Greco, reminder, the winner of this match will be the first team through to the last 16 of the World Cup. And Vito on for Johnston of Celtic. There's another foul by Mbukazi, been given belatedly.
Again, they're the areas you just stay on your feet. You don't need to dive in. He's not going anywhere. As soon as you go across, a little bit of contact, go down. Now they've got an option to put it in with pace and with quality. I keep emphasising it, Jack. They will give you a chance. I love the way they play. They want to play out. I get it. I get that's the modern game and how people think. But there's different ways of playing, as we've seen here with Canada and South Africa. But they will give you a chance. It's just if you can take it now. It might be a set piece or it might be a sloppy pass.
Well, the sun's come out now in Los Angeles. Will we be treated to the first goal of this first knockout tie?
And that's where all the Canadian fans are behind that goal as well, the red shirts. They're standing up. It's been deadly silent in the stadium so far.
Mustachio's delivery. Oh, they weren't short of numbers.
The time in the run was too much. You've got to leave the space to go into it. They was already there standing. It's going to be a difficult header. Just watch now. They're trying to head it from a standing still. That's never going to happen. Because as he's timing, he's going up. The ball's coming across. Encouragement. from Jesse. As I said, I think he'd be pleased with his team. There's areas we know. Can they pass the ball better? When they get into the final third, can they deliver a better pass? But all round, you can't really say they've been open up. Midfield, they've had a good balance.
So Taniola Washe with that opportunity there. Really, Ronwen Williams hasn't exactly been scrambling across his goal, the South African keeper. And that one half chance really for Mokoena of South Africa, but not been peppering either goal.
And maybe this is where, if Canada was at home, where the fans would get behind them and give them but they've had to travel. They didn't do their job up in Vancouver. Switzerland won that, so they're going to stay up there, and if they win against Switzerland, they stay again for the round of 16. That's what is in front of Canada. They didn't produce that, so we know how important the home fans can be for a team.
Now here's Liam Miller. Johnston. Miller again. Oh, what about that ball through for Johnston? It's a nice little layoff looking for Oluwaseun, who appreciated the sentiment.
Just needed to try and anticipate. It was difficult, but good defending. No hesitation, gets the ball out. But good little spell for Canada at the moment. When they play with a bit more energy and a bit more desire, they cause people problems. And this has given the crowd a lift. It's given a little bit of momentum, something to take into half-time. We know with the celebrations, and Johnson's actually the right back, and he's ended up on the left wing. And as I said, no nonsense defending in the end, gets the ball away.
Big cheer there was for your new best friend from Ted Lasso, Cristo Fernandez. Football is life. Football is life for Canada if they can score here. Yet another corner for them to be taken by Eustáquio.
You remember last time it went round the back, so you would anticipate someone would be in the middle, spin round the back. You've got 5 of them in there, near post, someone go round the back.
And they make it count this time. Bobbito's there! Cleared off the line. Buchanan with a strike. Oh, that is the closest that Canada have come by quite some way.
What a ball played in. We speak about the movement, delivery, set pieces, how vital they are. But you've got a goalkeeper that's got great personality. Look at the delivery. Look how they spin round, get a good header on the ball. Defenders do their job. It's bouncing around. And in the end, Williams gets a good block. But we must compliment as well the way that they defend. There's one defender throwing himself in front of the ball. Look at Williams, the goalkeeper, trying to anticipate where the ball's going to land. He's on his toes. It comes out wide. He throws himself, but you're thinking, can you maybe go to that right-hand side? But you're told as a player, go back from where it's come from, trying to generate the power. But that's an outstanding save as well. Williams, he knows he's got to smother the ball. And it might be that, Jackie, it might be a set piece that opens the door at the moment, because the back lines have been well drilled, well organised.
Huge credit to the left back, Aubrey Madiba, clearing off the line. Oh, what a story it would have been. Bombito, his first start of this World Cup. Now Miller, Larry is up there from the back. Oh, is that a penalty? The ref's thinking about it.
Well, the players around him, the captain has to be there. It can't be anyone else being around, but Miller can't believe it. They think when they played it in.
Well, when Richie Larea turned in the box there, was his foot caught?
I would know as a fullback pushing in. If you go in, he's got a chance to cross the ball. Maybe he just dangles his leg in between.
Was it Larea who put his foot in between the legs of the defender? Let's have a look.
Well, is he trying to get his foot around it to cross the ball? But the referee was in a fabulous position. He looked at it straight away.
Well, VAR will obviously be looking at this. They always do. In stoppage time at the end of the first half. Our VAR today is Carlos del Cerro Grande from Spain.
And that's where all the Canadian fans are behind that. And that's why the big cheer went up. There's obviously a conversation going on. Great to see the captain, just the captain, not a group of players around.
Well, let's bring in Dr. Joe Macknick for his opinion on what you've just seen, Dr. Joe.
Well, it's been consistent throughout that the VAR has supported the decision of the referee on the field. And it looked like the defender had established himself, had planted his foot on the ground, and the attacking player put his foot in between and caused himself to fall. He initiated the contact.
Thanks, Dr. Joe. Remember, it has to be a clear and obvious error by the referee for VAR to suggest a review. Not just, well, I might have given it, you decided not to. It has to be really, really obvious. And initially, it's supposed to be a high bar as well, remember. It's not supposed to be re-refereeing.
Well, he had no hesitation. No hesitation, the ref. He didn't want to give it. It was fine.
Well, tomorrow night on Fox in prime time, a massive match-up in the round of 32. The Netherlands taking on Morocco for the right to play the winner of this match here in LA. Coverage starting 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific here on Fox. Calling that game, John Strong and Stu Holden. Now, the flag stays down. Oluwaseyi has Miller for support, has Eustachio. Oluwaseyi thinking of going himself, nicked away from him by Niseko.
They're just starting to find little gaps now, the front players for Canada. Little areas where maybe a little bit of fatigue is kicking in.
It was given away, or was it? Well, they thought they'd won it back fairly. I think a little sorry for themselves, the Canadians here. They wanted a penalty. They didn't think that was a free kick.
I think that can spur you on as a player. I've been there before. You think the referee's not giving you anything. You think, OK, we'll make our own mind up. We'll do our own thing. I think he has a calming influence on the game. I've seen him do many, many games before.
Well, there is the half-time whistle from João Pinheiro of Portugal. No goals. And Jesse Marsh not happy with a lack of penalty awarded to his side towards the end of the first half. A fiercely contested one. Bombito selected today after injury, telling his head coach to steer clear. Wow, Rob Stone.
Well done, Mr. Bombito.
Number 5, Talent Mbata, the midfielder, to come on. He has played in this competition. And that is the only change of the two. And we're back underway in Los Angeles. It is all to play for in this first round of 32 match in the history of the World Cup, this expanded format to 48 teams. The entire lineup completed last night. And the winner, eventually, of this match will play the winner of the Netherlands-Morocco game. That match takes place tomorrow in Monterrey. What a game that should be. Beautiful Monterrey. Here's Madao. Now we saw, as Rob Stone was saying just then in the studio, we saw Alphonso Davies warming up. He is ready if required. He said in the press conference yesterday that he was told by the head coach he wouldn't be playing in the group stage, and it was a decoy, according to Jesse Marsh, as trying to fox their opponents that he might play, and they prepare for that and waste some of their preparation time on him. Yet to play his first minutes of this tournament. But Canada looking to make a fast start in the second half with Buchanan. Now Johnston. Johnston going the long way round. Oluwaseyi, and now Miller.
Big chance. Johnson, I love that play. He pushes forward, does it for Celtic. The flag had gone up as well anyway, but just trying to get round, and the whole ball has to go over the line, which it does. But Johnson's got good energy. He's played every minute in all the 3 games. And Miller are trying to get an understanding on this left-hand side if they can. Buchanan and Johnson on that right-hand side, they do well. This is something that South Africa do. There's a goalkeeper, he slows it down. They all get set into an area, then they go long and look for the second ball. It's not an area where they want to try and play out through the middle.
Ooh, slip by Ocon.
That's it. I keep closing them down. They will give you a chance. Squeeze in, don't let them out. There's the sign. You know, Jesse Marsh would have said that at half-time. Try and force it to one of the centre halves, because they don't do it first time. They don't want to go forward. They want to try and go into the middle, go out the other side. If you can squeeze in and time it correctly, they're wide apart and you're running in towards the goal.
Look on from Miller, who's in the Premier League with Hull City as of next season after winning the promotion playoffs. Famous Spygate incident initially rocked the semi-finals. And the Southampton analyst was sent to spy on Middlesbrough. Huge story in England. Hull City eventually beating Middlesbrough in the final. And who's going to reach the last 16? Oh, it's a loose one from Maseko. We haven't really seen him as an attacking threat here. He's perfectly capable, and he scored the winning goal, the only goal against South Korea in Monterrey in that final group stage game that put their spot here against the odds after the way they opened the tournament. Now given in favour of Mbakazi, a Chicago Fire defender who's going to possibly have Robert Lewandowski as a teammate there now. It's being heavily reported that he's going to be moving there. Legend.
Oh, they've lost their phone. They're doing the celebration and the phone goes missing. Yeah, Lewandowski being they've done a good job at Chicago. Holter's done a good job. The way they play, the style of football, the young players that he's been able to bring through. Big fan of his. Obviously, he was the coach last time out for the US in Qatar. And great to see his son getting a goal as well. What a strike that was.
It was fabulous. And the United States in action again very, very soon against Bosnia-Herzegovina.
Up in the Bay Area on Wednesday, so that'll be a big show. A lot of pressure on the players, but tough team to play against, but I do feel they've got the quality, the USA. But how many times we said this in this tournament, the quality. I mean, what a story. Cape Verde as well there, through to the knockout stage for the first time. There's so many teams that have been able to do that for the first time, and what I love as well is that they've got Argentina. I mean, if you're going to go into the next round of 32, which is going to be difficult, I think they're a good team, but they've only got 500,000 people as their population, and they're going against Argentina, who are the winners, with a certain Messi, who's got goal after goal after goal. 6 goals already. Yeah,
off the bench onto the score sheet yesterday from Lionel Messi. keep saying it, but the big names really have shown up at this World Cup. There's a problem here for Mokoena. They just made a substitution at half-time in the midfield, and was caught late by Buchanan.
Yeah, I always think if it's just a kick, as long as he doesn't twist his ankles, you can normally run them off as a player. Yeah, you're hurt for that 45 seconds a minute, but you normally try and figure that one's out. But Jackie, you're absolutely right. When the big players have come to perform, and Beppe, we've seen Dembele was saying, look, I'm not at the equation. He goes and scores a hat-trick, although Norway have changed their entire team to do that. And the rest of...
Well, we're talking about the big names. Messi, 6 goals in the group stage alone. Sometimes that's enough to win the Golden Boot, isn't it? Vinicius Junior, Haaland in there. He's still going to have plenty to say for himself, but it's the Canada forwards now looking to try and get on the end of this. Cornelius is up there from the back, hooked away by Madiba. Just haven't been clinical when they've had opportunities in the box. They've either been air kicks or they've taken too long. They've had an opportunity and they've not taken the snapshot when the moment's been there. Not taking the snapshot when the moment's been there for them.
Yeah, they haven't been sharp enough. Even with that set piece that they had, and Kylie Lloyd rightly said, you've got to take your chance. You've got to anticipate. Actually, 2 players, Canadian players, going for the same ball. You've just got to be ruthless. This is the business end now. You know, it's the knockout stages. You win, you go through. The rest of you go home and you're watching it on TV.
Or not. Do you watch it on TV?
What, this World Cup has been fantastic.
It's painful if you've just been
4.6 million people have attended the stadiums.
Johnston with another long throw for Canada. Flick on by Oluwaseyi. Well, I wonder if Jesse Marsh is thinking of pushing the Alphonso Davies button at some stage. He's very much on limited minutes, having had so many injury problems. He'll use him if he has to. That's the theory.
Well, what are you saving him for? That's going to be my question.
Because they're not behind us yet. Larrea. It is a conundrum for him.
You normally, as a coach, you start thinking that hour marks, 70-minute marks, and someone like him, as Clint rightly said, is a game changer. He's a difference player. When Canada have someone like him in the team, you feel that they're strong enough. There's a collision again. As I said, this game has not been for the faint-hearted. A little pull back. Referee's tried to keep on top of it.
It's really divided opinions, hasn't it? That's loose from Cornelius.
That's what they've done, Polly.
He thought he was on his bike.
Yeah, that's the problem. He was thinking, just give the ball, and a little bit of frustration. You can see with Jesse, he's walking around, he's just trying to think, have a little chat to his assistant. Where do we go from here? What are we doing? When he did make the subs against Switzerland, it was that minute too late. They went down 2-0 because he was trying to get 3 players on. The ball didn't go out. Then they was chasing the game. They got a little bit of momentum in the last 15-20 minutes, but he was trying to get people on just before they conceded that second goal, which would have made all the difference, because then they would play the last 2 games in Canada. They've had to come just south of the border to Los Angeles, which is not a million miles away from where we was in Vancouver. A lot of Canadian fans have come down and obviously live in the country as well.
Oh, Larrea, I can't believe he's been penalised there.
Well, he's gone through the player and got the ball. He's the coolest man in the stadium. The referee has been in charge. It's not had the energy that I would have thought. I think you've got a lot of nervous players out there. I think you've got players that don't want to make a mistake, because you can only think back home what might happen if you do make a mistake. And that's going to be on the players' minds. And when that happens, they do things safe. You take an extra touch. Oh, that's nice. And that one.
Nicely done by Mudau.
Oh, another one.
And again and again.
If he got 3, he would have kept the ball. But that's what we want. That's what. Take a chance. Be positive. Express yourself. There's another one.
Right, and Q, you were saying nobody wanted to be adventurous, and that's the first yellow card of the game. And that's gone to Nathan Saliba, the central midfielder, who's playing because Ismail Kone, one of their key players, the height, the athleticism, the talent of Ismail Kone, with that awful double leg break against Qatar. And the player who committed the foul being banned for 5 matches, but they're out anyway. It's just awful for him and for the team, and also without their captain, the leader, Davis, until now, potentially.
Yeah, and also I'm looking to my right, just seeing the Canadian coaches, and players warming up with their coach. He's not actually getting warmed up at the moment, so it may be time for a change up front. As Clint rightly said, now, and he's a player that can score goals. He scored goals in this competition. He didn't press how they would have liked, but they have got good options in the final third, Canada. They can change their front line.
Yeah, Carl Laren is waiting. Now South Africa, plenty of space, not the ideal ball for Maseko. Maseko running into traffic. He's carried on his run and slightly overhit for Modau. Still think they want to see more of Tapelo Maseko.
There's two things, Jay. He's got to want the ball. He's got to get on the ball to make that.
Well, Repo, eyes on that all the way.
Yeah, good goalkeeping. He was clear. Good, moved his feet well to come across. Not challenged either. As you rightly said, he's not the biggest, 6'1", but can command his area well.
Canada having reached this stage for the first time without a key player. We talked about Alphonso Davies many times, but Kone having been missing since that Qatar game. Bombito only starting for the first time here. Alfie Jones hasn't played a minute, the Middlesbrough defender. He's not been fit.
See, I think now they've got to play quicker. Canada, put the ball down and play. It's been too possession at the moment. Get it down, play. Because now, I know he's got a head injury and they're probably thinking, well, he has to make sure he's okay.
The FIFA president continues to watch on. Somebody has to win today, remember, whether it goes to 30 minutes of extra time or to a penalty shootout. We'll be here to the bitter end as Eustachio receiving treatment now.
Yeah, maybe just as he went down, maybe got a little. I think it was the foot, the left foot on the ear. Yeah, maybe as his studs went out, but he's holding his head, so I think that might be where he just got a little whack on the back. But Jesse Marsh just thinking, Quinton Ponson is an educated man. He knows this team. They emulate what he is. They want to get close. They want to play with lots of energy, lots of enthusiasm. Fans at the moment trying to generate their own entertainment just so we get a little bit of treatment. But the fans have been out. I mean, the fans, the colours, the conversations we've seen at airports, in the stadium. You're right, Jackie said, getting here early, interacting, having photos together, whether it's been in Guadalajara where we've been, Toronto, Vancouver, the Bay Area. It's been phenomenal, a real joy. Players have come on and had an impact in the games. And just now, has someone got the bravery to get on the ball and take a chance? That must be going through the players' mind, coaches' minds now. Do we change things around?
Now Luc de Fougerolles is about to come on, and it is Saliba who's just yellow carded there. And Bombito coming off. And Nico Sigor coming on, the Hajduk Split player, Split in Croatia. So a couple of straight swaps in midfield and in central defence. Yeah, we saw the way they changed things up towards the end of that Switzerland game when they were pretty flat like this, weren't they, in that last group game? And those subs off the bench, the likes of Liam Miller, really changed the game. And Eustachio, who wasn't fit enough to start that particular game. But they need something, they need a spark, because this game's really kind of lacked inspiration from the talented forward players until now. But
do you put that down to South Africa defending well? They've not allowed the space in behind. They've not allowed them to get pinned back. I think tactically they've been excellent.
Oluwaseyi, Jonathan David.
Or is it moments like that, dwelling on the ball too long, taking too long? You're not going to have that time. Look at the yellow shirts that get around you.
Miller with the ball in, really well dealt with by Sitolo. They have been fantastic in defence. As Cornelius,
yeah, just hit the ref.
Pulled back.
I think he wanted a little touch of the ball, the referee. Cornelius thinks he took it, but I mean, that's the rule. Unfortunately, the referee gets hit. It just took a little bit of momentum out of the game because he'd come through the Rangers player, although he's on loan, just won the ball, but there was a little touch from the referee, and you have to stop the game.
Well, a reminder, tomorrow on Fox, day 2 of the knockout rounds, we'll see Brazil against Japan. That is in Houston, and Germany against Paraguay. That is in Boston, and we'll have coverage starting at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific on Fox.
See, if I'm Canadian player, make him play it. I mean, you're backing off. Make him do what he doesn't want to do. Make him kick it early, because he wants to do that, and he kicks it out of play. I mean, that's the little trigger. That's the signs, you know. He wants to have time. He wants to try. Put him under pressure. Put him out of his comfort zone, because he's had good touches on the ball. He's tremendous with his feet. Do something that he doesn't want to do. I think Canada got to get angry. You said about that in the game against Switzerland. Get angry. He's been quite on the bench. I mean, again,
he's getting angry now, though,
exactly, and that influence on the team. If I see my coach getting angry, getting frustrated, I mirror that, and play, you know, teams do. They mirror their coaches, their personality.
Well, he's pretty angry at the end of that first half when they didn't get the penalty.
Yeah.
Interesting to see Bombito holding his own head coach back from getting stuck into the referee, João Pinheiro.
Well, you don't want to lose, you know, a coach that influences team. You know, whether it's the breaks where you can tweak things around, substitutions come in, because we emphasise you ain't got a second chance now. You either win or you're not. That's as simple as it is now for this team. And whether you go to extra time or you go penalties, whatever it may be, Jackie, you haven't got a second chance.
2/3 of the way through this first knockout match. Now, where's this going? Well, that's a decent-looking strike, but it was always flying wide from Apollos.
Well, half the bench on that left-hand side jumps up. A little hesitation there, and always a little trick. He comes inside and just cuts across the ball. That's why it goes to that right-hand side. You've got perfect angle here. Wants to be in his right foot. Now his body shape should be strong, but he just cuts across the ball. He's trying to guide it into that corner. That made it look a lot closer. Even the camera guy behind there thought he was going in. But that will give him a lift. A lot of the fans just in front of us to the left was jumping up, celebrating. You can only imagine if they do get a goal.
I guess it's human nature, Warren, isn't it? The fact that these players, yes, they're delighted to be here, both for the first time in a knockout match at a World Cup. You mentioned, of course, nobody wants to make a mistake, but as you head towards the final 25 minutes of this game and the final whistle, you don't want it to go necessarily to extra time. Unless you're behind, of course, that it is human nature. Perhaps you sometimes start slowly and don't show your best, but now you just get the sense this game's opening up a little bit. Now Canada on the attack, and Buchanan can't get there. Good work again by Mukazi.
Yeah, he reads the game well, Mukazi. Comes across, reads it. My only thing, if I was, you know, sometimes play it quicker, but he's got good speed, good accuracy. He's got a sweet left foot. Always looks a little bit more cultured when you have that left foot. I want him to influence. Kyle Lloyd said it at the beginning of the show. He's such a talented player. I see him at the U20s. I thought he was phenomenal. Was at New England. He's obviously gone off to Villarreal. They're players that can influence the game. If you're not going to beat him with speed, beat him with combination play.
Now the long throw again from Alistair Johnston. Away by the centre forward, Mahopa. Larea overhit.
Yeah, I think get it out to Miller and let him do a little bit of trickery. Yes, the tempo's gone up slightly. Just looking to our right as well. 2 Canadian players getting some instructions as well.
Now here they come, Canada. Oh, they could be in here. So close, is that the moment? Heroically off the line by Mukazi. What a moment.
Sensational defending. The goalkeeper plays his part as well, William. He comes out. A beautiful counter-attack. The weight of the pass is excellent. David thinks he's got away. A little touch there, but look at this defending. Because concentration, you know you're going to get hit. As the ball's coming in, He just thinks he's going to score. He thinks he's going to get on the end of it, the young striker, but he gets away from the ball. It's actually David that's coming through just to block it away.
Well, you can hear that noise. So many Canadians here in Los Angeles, inside this enormous NFL arena. And if they were to finally score here, it would be deafening. Eustachio. And by the Fougereau.
Half a chance. Half a chance. Again, the best line has been from a set piece. A little break with the pace that he has. Just that little bit of composure. Here's the referee's cam going through. Good technique, gets away. A little touch, and you think just with that left foot he thinks he's in, and his partner David's going to come across and maybe header it in, but sensational. Great goalkeeping. Stands big, doesn't gamble, doesn't go down too early.
Ronwen Williams is the captain, the goalkeeper for South Africa. And you can scan the QR code on the screen right now to vote for the Michelob Ultra Superior Player of the Match. Which way is this game going? Away by Ocon. I just need a moment, something sharper in the final third. A moment of quality that so far eluded them.
And their card there. They got caught the wrong side, trying to be too clever with a little flick. Referee, no hesitation.
A reminder, by the way, that cards from the group stage don't carry over in this tournament. But now we're heading to the hydration break, and a key moment, opportunity for the two head coaches to get into their players ahead of the final quarter of this first knockout match. We are waiting for the deadlock to be broken.
Greatness doesn't happen overnight. It happens every morning. Full body nutrition and fuel to start whatever's next. Quaker, official sponsor of FIFA World Cup 26.
Is David's backyard ready for the FIFA World Cup? Maybe he'll build it, like Beckham. Brilliant move here. David's going to the Home Depot for the assist. Bare covers in just one coat, so David can paint it like Patricia. You know you missed a spot, right? Rip it like Rich. Plant it like Paige. There you go. Great work, guys. Keep it up.
Or watch it all happen just like Josh.
Very happy to help.
Where are my ultras? Ultras on me.
Turn back time on your engine with Valvoline Restore and Protect, a first-of-its-kind motor oil that removes up to 100% of engine-killing deposits and protects against future damage. Ask for Valvoline Restore and Protect at your next oil change.
Well, we're back. It has to end today. One of these sides is going home. Jesse Marsh has been getting stuck into his Canada players during that hydration break, and the temperature has been rising inside the stadium, on the field. It was pretty cool when we arrived here at 8 o'clock this morning for the noon kickoff here on the West Coast in California. And Hugo Broos, now the oldest head coach left in the competition in the final 32, he'll be pretty happy with what he's seen from his side in terms of the discipline that they showed and how they've grown into this competition. But it's just a case of the final third for either team now.
Yeah, I think he's there just talking to his midfield area. They didn't like the fact that they got caught out with that counter-attack press, so they've got numbers in there. So he spent a lot of his time talking about that midfield balance, not allowing that gaps, where you looked at Jesse Marsh was really going to make some subs, as I think both of these coaches will do as the game goes on, but he was more about collective, the group, the dynamics of going. But I think you're right, Hugo Ross would have been comfortable with the way that they defended the midfield. Can they get the quality into the strikers a little bit better? It doesn't always have to be into feet, it doesn't always have to be so predictable. Can you ask questions in the game? This is a sub that we would expect. Miller didn't really influence the game as he did against Switzerland. Maybe he's that type of player to come off the bench and make things happen.
So on comes Jacob Schaffelberg. And so too Promise David, who came off the bench. It was a rousing climax at the Vancouver match, the last group match between Switzerland and Canada, scoring a really fine goal, and they need something like that. They need that bit of magic. And it would have been a dilemma for Jesse Marsch as to whether to start Miller after his impact off the bench, but as you mentioned, hadn't been quite so explosive or as dynamic from the start.
Yeah, I spoke to both of these players, the substitutes that are coming on just before the game, and they was very relaxed, very confident in what they was doing. Both players know that they can have an influence in this game.
And come Canada, and David through the centre. Bakazi once again, they're all action. Central defender.
There's that press again, but just giving away a cheap foul, and that's what Jesse would have said. The last 20 minutes of this game, the last 20 minutes, can we press? We've got players up front, particularly in the wide areas, that are good on one-on-one situations. That's that yellow card that he picked up for that foul earlier on.
It is a huge arena here, and it is very hot as well.
So impressive when you come into the stadium, and where it is in Inglewood. You've got a new basketball stadium. You've got this stadium as well for the Rams and the Clippers. It's very, very impressive.
I mean, with the sunshine and the palm trees and the Hollywood Hills, it's a bit like being in Wolverhampton. Home from home. Now here comes the substitute, Mbata. Mukwena. The last 18 minutes before we head into extra time. Everybody wants to be the hero. Nobody wants to be the villain.
Correct. I mean, more of that said, you don't want to be, particularly in the back line, you don't want to be the one that maybe dwells on the ball too long, a sloppy pass, letting a person run from a set piece. So maybe the coaches have re-emphasised that when they had the break. Remember your jobs, remember your responsibilities.
Buchanan battling away with Madiba.
Madiba's had the win of that, but Buchanan's a player that can influence a game.
Well, Alphonso Davies has just taken off his substitute's bib and is being given instructions as to what his role will be when he comes onto this field of play, looking to turn the tide in Canada's favour. And there are so many Canada supporters inside this enormous stadium that the roar will be quite something when he does come on.
So you've got to put him under pressure now. You've got to make him make a decision, because they're playing at their own tempo. Again, put pressure on the ball, squeeze in. It's not his fault. They want it like that. That's fine. If the opposition's not going to close you down, we're going to take our time. We're going to pass the ball for you to get all discipline and see if we can pass through you.
Even the sight of seeing Alphonso Davies on the side will lift these Canada players.
Switch it if you can. He's in if you can get your head out.
Satole. Now there's a little bit of space here for Madiba to swing it in to his fellow fullback. Maseko. Oh, and the strike from long range just couldn't finish off that move from South Africa.
Just leaning back. The excitement, the transition going out to that left-hand side. Very deep cross. I won't let you know who's coming on now. I'll just leave it, but they keep the ball alive at the far post. In the end, the shot.
Tajon Buchanan is off, and Alphonso Davies is on, and he receives the captain's armband from Stephen Eustachio, and this is a huge moment for Canada and its football players and supporters, and just listen to that noise.
And Jackie, I'm interested where he was going to go, and he's gone left wing. We've seen him for Bayern Munich play as a left back. Schodderberg has gone over to that right-hand side where Buchanan was, and Davis is on this left-hand side, and just the expectation of him getting on the ball. He'd be nervous. Now, he hasn't played a lot of soccer lately, but there's no doubt he's got the class, he's got the ability.
Well, it has been an injury-ravaged season. He missed the first half of the season after recovering from an ACL, and then finished up in May, and then injured a hamstring, and hearts in mouths for Canada and their supporters and the rest of the players. They wanted their leader here for what was a home World Cup. He's missed out on the group stage. Now here's Davies. Now this is better. And the strike from David! Promise David. Coming so close for Canada. Inspired by Davies.
Yeah, he attracts people across. There's space then for the give and go with the strikers. Thomas David just dragging it to that right-hand side. Couldn't quite test William in goal. Just chokes the ball a little bit. But straight away, Alphonso Davies gets the ball, and 2-3 yellow shirts come over. That's going to create space for other people. And like any good player, he finds the right pass.
Almost 70,000 supporters here. A reminder, as you can see there, no golden goal if it does finish after the regulation 90 minutes and stoppage time. There'll be 15 minutes each way of extra time. And then we will go to a penalty shootout if it still can't be decided. We did say it was going to be tight, Warren. Murray giving it to Davis. Lovely pirouette from the Bayern Munich man. From Mudau, the right back. One for Apollos to chase. He's a willing runner.
Yeah, good defending by Johnson, just letting the ball bounce. Alphonso Davies has touched the ball 3 times. He's shown more class and awareness in that little spell, just getting the ball. And that's where you've got to do. Keep feeding him, keep giving him the ball. Now, just give it to him.
Just gone up a notch.
Oh, yeah. Obviously, and it's put South Africa on the back foot.
Davies. Eustachio, well, the 2 men on Davies allowed Eustachio a bit of space. He's fabulous with his deliveries too. Oh, and a little ball in towards Jonathan David! And a save by Ronwen Williams. He's not been called upon a great deal at all in this game. But he's getting busier now.
But just simple pass, clever identity, where to find your partner, just slide it into feet. And again, good goalkeeping, stood big, didn't go down, didn't gamble.
You see the fact that he attracted 2 players straight away. That in turn creates space for those around him. A touch of quality that he has. Reminder, on Wednesday, US playing Bosnia-Herzegovina in their round of 32 clash. Coverage starting 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific on Fox. Make sure you put that in your diary. Wednesday, the US plays in their last 32 match. Nobody on the US side will be disrespecting Bosnia-Herzegovina. I would very much doubt, either in the booth or in the studio. I have known of situations where TV pundits have had a real material impact on the opponents of a side, going back to the England-Croatia game in 2018 in Russia. I was there and spoke to 2 Croatian pundits afterwards who said they felt disrespected big time by pundits back home who I suspect were trying to be positive in their side's favour. And they were saying they thought it would be easy. That very much got back to base. And it was Croatia who reached the World Cup final that France won. Mudau away.
Hey, Colby! Move, Colby!
just over 10 minutes.
I think that just sums up with the stats there. You see how South Africa have kept the ball, but not really with a purpose, only just that one shot. Canada maybe not has had as much possession of the ball, but what they've done is hit the target. And Williams made some good saves you would expect from a goalkeeper. Again, that identifies the two styles of play. One want possession and just to pass the ball, but don't really create.
Davies. Such experienced fullbacks. Mudau and Madiba. Davies again. Eustachio to Cornelius. This is such an opportunity as Eustachio, the Porto man, gives it away. Apologies.
But they're asking more questions, and now the fatigue comes into the game. It's getting into 81st minute. They've had 3 games. As you rightly said, Jackie, their back 4 and the goalkeeper largely played together and started games together, so they've played a lot of minutes.
Used to each other's positions as well. Could they tire, perhaps? Jonathan David. And here's Johnston looking for options. Promised David in the centre. Play by Mudau. And Schaffelberg thought he'd won it back, and he's penalised. Just one other thing, Warren, in terms of quotes from the head coaches. Jesse March's opposite number, Hugo Broos, saying that he's been penalised. His side have had to switch between time zones, as we see that opportunity there. A momentary one for Jonathan David. In the first half, he wasn't taking these chances and just waiting for too long. But in terms of the movement, they started off Mexico, then they went forward 2 hours to Atlanta, then back 2 hours to Monterrey, then forward an hour to Los Angeles. And Canada have been based initially, was there possibly in here, Promised David. That's going nowhere. Canada have only been in Canada, initially Toronto, and then back 3 hours, and they stayed in Vancouver until here, which is in the same time zone. Do you see that as an advantage, as Gross thinks?
Yes, I do, because travel is difficult, but it's part of being in a tournament where they're successful. You know, they've had time in between, they've had rest to go. That you can use that as an excuse, there's no doubt, but the facts are they've still performed well, they've played at a high level, they won their last game, the second game they come from behind, they've got character.
Balls from Bukazi. Now here's Eustachio. Promised David, no relation to Jonathan.
Just that little pass there, you see it in the first 45 minutes, and now we've seen it again.
An important moment for Luc de Fougerolles, who's been playing on loan in the second tier of Belgium, just relegated with Dender, and now here come Canada. That first touch.
It's just the wrong decision. Take another touch, but on the counter-attack.
Well, Schaffelberg's playing on his right side. He is left-footed. Davis, he wants it on his left foot too, ideally. Mudau, winning it back really well.
70,000 people know that as well as the fullback.
Reminder, the winner of this match, whether after 90 or after 30 minutes of extra time or penalties, will play the winner of the Netherlands-Morocco match, which is tomorrow in Monterrey. And the winner will play on Saturday, July 4th in Houston. That is the prize at stake.
If my memory serves me right, Peter Schmeichel was at the beginning of the game said this could go to extra time and penalties, because what at stake, the first game of the knockout stage for both of these teams and for the competition as well. The amount of games that's already been played is phenomenal, and we're only touching halfway through it with the quality that we've seen, the goals that we've seen, the attendances that have been at the stadium. It's only going to get bigger and better.
This is the 73rd game of the World Cup, more than they've ever been before already. Now here's Apollis for South Africa. It just takes a moment. Apollis! And Crepo, he might well have been creeping wide anyway, but he was taking no chances.
Yeah, good goalkeeping. Doesn't gamble, doesn't think it's going to go to his right-hand side. He gets a good city of the ball. Second time round, he smothers it, and that's the danger they have, South Africa, on the counter-attack.
Schaffelberg into Jonathan David. Schaffelberg again, looking for Promised David. Whoa. That's Cornelius doing here? He's saying, get up, Mudau. As South Africa are about to make a double substitution, but on we go with Canada. Stacchio finding Alphonso Davies. They know he wants to go left.
So I think he's got to mix it up. Just knock it out your feet and cross it. And then a defender doesn't know whether to go close or back off. At the moment, I know he's going to keep running at me. If he gets it and just whips it in, then I've got a decision to make next time round. Be careful, he's been booked before.
Really useful from Apollos. And Seagull has already been booked.
He hasn't really got up to the speed of the game.
Now the substitutions are about to be made. The centre forward, who's done a lot of tireless running, he hasn't had many opportunities himself, but he's done a lot of defending as well. Evidence Macholpa.
He's got to get off the field as well. I love this new ruling.
Yeah, he's got to get off quickly.
Yeah, I love the new ruling where you've got 10 seconds to go. Within reason, you know, it's not going to count too much, but I just think it makes the game quicker. We've seen players take 30 seconds, 40 seconds. Now get off the field. Players come on. Works extremely hard, as you said, Jackie, on the lost calls, as he has as well. Got the goal last time out. They've gotten to this stage against South Korea. Little pat on the back from the coach, and I think he feels that with all these players, that they give him everything, every ounce of energy, concentration, focus in the way that he plays. They want him to get on the ball, they want him to be brave, but they've come across a Canadian team that do press and have got good options up front.
Away by De Fougerolles. And Apollos, the two players coming on, by the way, the 30-year-old striker Ikram Reyners. Oh, Shuffleberg almost in, and it's Mbakazi again. Well, I was listening to a show with some South African journalists, and they were all raving about him potentially heading to the Premier League, and Mbakazi. And Chicago Fire might have something to say about that, as Mudau's upended.
Yeah, a little bit clumsy coming in. 87 minutes into this game, and it's been finally back. You could just feel it in the stadium.
3 minutes of regulation time remaining, plus stoppage time. There will be some for hydration break and substitutions, of course. Now he's back with Canada. Can they take advantage? Stacchio. Here's Davies. Now he has a bit of space.
Oh, just put it in. Put it in. You know what to do. 3 or 4 times, just whip that in. Anything could happen. Now they're out of shape. Now they're chasing the game. And this is exactly what South Africa want, a counter-attack play.
Well, they have 3 players in the box to aim for. Davies didn't play it in first time. Still rusty, of course. There's some nervy moments for both sides. Just over 2 minutes remaining for somebody to become a hero. Nobody wants to be a villain at this stage. Just nobody wants to make the mistake. At least somebody win it with a moment of brilliance.
And again, you have to remember for these players, they haven't played in this occasion before. You know, you're not talking about an Argentina or France that have been in finals, been in semi-finals, been in big occasion in front of 50, 60, 70,000 people. Now, these are players that are playing at the pinnacle of the competition. They don't want to make a mistake, and that's why the top players, when you've seen them, Peter Schmeichel said it earlier on the show, that's where the big players really identify and come to life in these occasions.
Apollos. Oh, they could be in here, South Africa. Luke De Fougerolles. What a moment for him, the youngster, but still, well, they have been given the free kick, Canada. And the Fulham youngster off the bench to make a vital interception.
Didn't just take the touch, he's got a cushion out in front of him by taking a touch and making in, and then Cornelius comes over with a header. He's played a good part at the back for Canada.
A reminder, tomorrow on Fox in prime time, a huge matchup in this round of 32. The Netherlands taking on Morocco in Monterrey. Coverage starting 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific here on Fox. And they'll no doubt be watching this game wondering who either of them will be facing in the round of 16.
And I can tell you what they're both thinking about that game. They won't be looking too far ahead, because Morocco, we've seen an excellent team, and the Dutch are getting a little bit of rhythm, getting a little bit of their confidence, and we know with the Dutch players, if they get confident, get on the ball, They play a certain style of football that is pleasing on the eye. I think you can hear what the Canadian fans feel about this possession at the moment. And while he's doing that, he wants the Canadian players to get a bit frustrated, to maybe come out of a gap so they can create a pass. So you have to be disciplined, because you do hear the fans telling you, so you automatically think, I'm going to close down, I'm going to push, I'm going to chase the ball, but they want you to come out because then they're looking for a little bit of space.
Well, we're into a minimum of 5 minutes of added time, and if nobody scores in that time, we will be going to 30 minutes of extra time, and Canada won't have any more substitutions they can make between now and the end of the game, including potential penalty shootout. So they have to stick with what they've got, and if anybody gets injured or if anyone gets injured, both will get the extra one in extra time. And Davis has tried to make a difference since coming off the bench. They had that initial lift.
Yeah, you're correct. They sort of now try and go the other side, try and change a few questions.
Usual. Now this would be a lovely time to score a goal if you're Canadian. Schaffelberg, play by Ocon, on the strike from Eustachio! Eustachio and Canada are writing a new chapter of World Cup history.
We asked for a moment of brilliance. A delivery played in, and then it's panic station. They head the ball away. You should never had it back into the danger. Wonderful touch from the LAFC player. Technique, the balance, the accuracy, that little bounce as well gives Williams no chance in goal. What a moment for Canada.
They had to leave Vancouver. Their supporters are here in their droves.
But remember yesterday. Remember that game yesterday. It's not over till the whistle is blown.
It is far, far from over. Extraordinary game between Algeria and Austria. Those two late goals. Austria eventually going through. We know we've seen enough football in our time.
Exactly,
You've played plenty at the highest level to know there are still moments. There will still be time in stoppage time. South Africa have defended so stoutly until that moment, but it only takes one moment either way.
But you can't head it back into danger. If anything, head it away. Ooh, wow. It's managing the game now. Don't give cheap free kicks away. Keep the ball. You don't need to get another one.
Eustachio over the top for Promise David. And they're so eager to finish this off as Mbakazi brings it away.
He's been excellent at the back. Said about him taking a chance, but hey, his performance has been phenomenal.
A minute and a half of the allocated stoppage time remaining, but there will be more added on for that goal and the celebrations, and the flag's gone up. That plays right into Canada hands.
Also, we know with Alphonso Davies, he can play left back. They believe they've come down for this moment in their history. Can they hold on? Can they have the opportunity to go through? I know how you feel, my friend. I tell you who was in the middle of that as well? Kone. He got off the bench. He hobbled off the bench, and he was in with that lot. Broke his leg against Qatar, and he's been their inspiration. He's been someone they can rally around, and been in that change room, been in the hotel with them.
Canada would love to just keep the ball up this end of the field, ideally have a little bit of possession, eat up those precious, valuable seconds. South Africa launching it with Mbakazi, who has been excellent.
What a goal, what a pass.
They've only scored 1 goal from open play in this entire tournament. There was 1 penalty against Czechia, Museko against South Korea.
I just see the referee holding up a finger saying 1 minute. There's 1 minute to go in this game. The referee just put his finger up.
Well, it only takes a moment. Mbakazi, who's been brilliant at the back, and now he's looking to keep them in this tournament. Sitole.
He's been excellent.
Schaffelberg with a really important touch just to hold up Sitole. Now what has South Africa got? There's so little time left. We're in stoppage time at the end of stoppage time. At the end of this last 32 match. Apolis, away by Cornelius.
Just run with it or play it, one or the other.
That's exactly where Canada need it.
Cornelius has been phenomenal at the back.
The bench is about to erupt. The stadium is about to erupt. Everybody is on their feet. The red shirts, the maple leaves. Is there one last moment? Crepeau! Safe hands.
Just come away, let the referee deal with it, let him put it down. They believe now. They believe, all their fans to that right-hand side, they believe they've got that perfect scenario, that goal, the clean sheet. Go on, Jesse, go and enjoy it.
We've seen rankings go out the window in this tournament. Canada at 30, South Africa at 60. Their head coach said, we will go there, we will win. South Africa has been loving every moment of this tournament against the odds in the final game, beating South Korea. But it is Canada who are through to the last 16 of the FIFA World Cup for the very first time. That moment from Stefan Eustachio winning it right at the death. And we'll be seeing Canada again in the United States.
Jackie Warren, thank you. The round of 32 off and running, and your co-host Canada are moving on courtesy of that late 1-0 win over South Africa. Next up for Canada, Morocco or Netherlands, July 4th in Houston. Let him enjoy the moment, though, first, Rob. All right, Rob Stone, Carly Lloyd, Clint Dempsey, Peter Schmeichel back here with you. Goal number 216 of this tournament sends Canada to uncharted territory, the round of 16. South Africa, first time they ever made it to the knockout stage. They are eliminated, but the party and the celebrations and the hugs continue in L.A. And what a moment for Canadian soccer. Deserved win, Clint, for the Canadians?
Yeah, I mean, I thought they were the better side today. The game was asking for a little bit moment of quality, and we got that from Eustachio. The way he trapped the ball with his chest and the volley that he had, I mean, what a game winner. To be able to score a goal that, you know, gets you to the round of 16, this man won't have to buy a beer for a while.
Big players show up in big moments. I think they lacked a lot of quality, though, in the final third. You know, there wasn't much that they had other than set pieces. But it doesn't matter how you win. Win's a win, and you go through.
Win's a win. It was kind of very much like we predicted before. You know, you're in the knockout stages now. Every little mistake that you eventually do will cost you something. So it was very cautious for a very, very long time. And you actually think that was going to go into extra time, but, you know... You were wanting it to go into extra time. I wanted to go in. I wanted the drama. I like the drama. I wanted it to go to penalties and, you know, the whole shenanigan. But I know only because there was so little between the two teams. I don't think that Canada was so much better than South Africa. I think it was very sort of even, but, you know, I feel for South Africa. That's a horrible way to beat the tournament. But well done to Canada.
step. Guys, right? Think about the 2 years we've been together. Think about how we talked about sticking to the plan, sticking to who we want to be, playing aggressive, accessing your quality. You guys showing your character. You guys are Canadian heroes. Canadian heroes. Canadian heroes for the future children of this country who play this sport. The sport has a big future because of you guys. You should be so proud of who you are. You should be so proud of this game. You never crossed the heat. You went after it, point after point, moment after moment. You are Canadian heroes.
Well done, Jesse Marsh, the American head coach for Canada. A lot of Canadian heroes there on the field, according to him. Next up for them, the winner of Netherlands-Morocco in Houston on July 4th. A memorable tournament for South Africa as well, but it's Canada that moves on. Only 3 nations from the CONCACAF region advanced to the round of 32. It was all 3 co-hosts, Canada, Mexico, and the U.S., and the Maple Leafs are already on to the round of 16, breaking all kinds of World Cup records for that nation this summer. So until second half stoppage time, the man who plays his club ball just up the street for LAFC, Stefan Eustáquio, the game winner. Jesse Marsh, the game-winning reactions. Canada live to play again, even though they're not back home in Canada. But here is the reaction back home in Toronto, Ontario. Coming up, we count down to the U.S.'s round of 32 matchup and look ahead to their win-or-go-home showdown against Bosnia.
Not bad. You guys see this?
Control